So, you've been in the room, you threw caltrops down the dark hallway that you have to exit through.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just saying. And before you stands Ard and your dog. He's laying in front of the fire, just like hamming it up. You know how the shepherds like to lay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and like call him over, make sure he's okay and everything.
Okay. Yeah, he comes to you. He's fine.
I'm gonna kind of look at Ard and basically just wait and like.
I'm sorry for the subterfuge, but I needed to know that you could make it here.
I mean, just like a heads up about the floor would have been cool.
I needed to see how you handled yourself.
I gotta say, if I saw anything that looked like it had a pulse after the floor dropped, I probably would have shot it.
Well, you didn't see anything, did you?
I'm just that weird shadow, dude.
An illusion, nothing. Tell me, you had questions in the council chamber. They seemed important, but the wrong place for them. How do you feel about all of this?
I think as soon as you mentioned the king not choosing a successor, everyone started whispers about how someone's going to take power, so it might as well be me. And everyone's thinking that instead of trying to honor the good king's wishes. So it just seems like every fool with a piece of land to his name is going to be charging the crown.
And most of them anyway. There will be a few that stand on the side of what's right, on the side of freedom. There always are a few. I can point you in the direction of those people if you are one of them.
I have no interest in the crown.
That's good, that's what I wanted to hear.
Maybe like a lab or something.
Well,
A good-sized workshop, maybe.
as you look around this room, you do notice that for being in the sewer, it's very clean. It's immaculately clean, like magically so. I'll just put that out there. Do you have any questions about anything before he continues?
I think I've been tricked enough at this point that I want to roll like... I'm not trying to make it obvious that I'm like scanning the room or whatever, but I want to scan the room, see if there's other people or like magic surveillance device, just see, or traps or whatever.
Okay, so roll Knowledge Arcana for magical stuff.
And then I also want to do an insight on the boy, like on Ard.
Okay.
So yellow will be Arcana, and this one will be the insight.
Okay.
So Knowledge Arcana is going to be 19. And it'd be Sense Motive, right?
Yeah.
So that's going to be 23.
Okay. What I would say is that Ard is hard to read, mostly because even though he does have his own voice, occasionally there is a word or two that is in someone else's. And it just makes it hard to read because that word is said in the way that they said it when he heard it. So, inflection and things like that are not something that you can just read off of this person easily.
Yeah.
He does seem to be honest.
What about like body language? Is there anything like threatening?
Body language is not threatening at all. He's actually, he's standing here, but he's actually sitting in the chair, wings crossed.
Yeah.
He's sitting more contemplative than anything, like he's measuring you.
Yeah. So this is like I'll roll another one if you want me to. But dogs are better judges of character than people. So can I, like, do a sense motive or whatever?
You can.
On the dog to see, like, how he feels about everything?
Yeah.
Like, do you want me to roll again? Or?
You don't have to. I mean, you kind of have an idea that this man couldn't be too bad. The dog was in full comfort mode when you came in the room.
Yeah.
So, at least as anything, he's been kind to the animal.
Yeah.
Kind enough to put the animal at ease.
And I didn't see anything, like, around the room or whatever?
No.
I don't know if you answered that or not.
I didn't, but no, you didn't see anything.
All right, well, I guess I'll, like, relax a little bit, and
there's another chair. I just don't have one.
Gotcha.
So
I'll sit down in the chair and hear him out.
There's a little table between you. There's a bottle of wine, cup if you want it. You pour your own. No. But he's sitting, drinking a glass of wine. So roll a. Okay, first off, well, you were a kid and you got to read stories. What types of stories did you like to read? Or did you have your mother read you? What did you like the most that she read you when you were a little kid?
I think everyone who grows up to be a leveled class has to like stories about adventure. I would have liked stories about like the world before.
Okay.
And like this is a full self-insert. Your boy loves dragons.
I know.
So like anything with a dragon in it, I would have been all about.
Okay.
I don't know if like I assume they're extinct at this point.
Maybe.
Like he assumes they're extinct at this
right,
point. I mean,
yeah.
unless you're like
you've never seen one.
Yeah, unless you're saying like there's some dragons hanging out in the city or whatever. In which case, that should have been
not
mentioned.
in the city, but you would know just from, I would say, the horror stories that parents tell children to keep them away from the wall, right? That there are all manner of undead creature outside the wall.
Yeah, but as far as
nothing
like,
within the city that you know of.
Yeah, and even the dragons outside, they're like Draco-liches at this
right,
point.
Yeah,
they're not like
yeah,
full majestic awesome dragons.
Right.
So
yeah, they're all undead. They're
yeah.
Maybe some of them are skeletal, but yeah.
Yeah, so I'd say like a disproportionate amount of like knowledge and interest in dragons.
Okay.
And then outside of that, like anything with like adventure and stuff like that.
All right.
Probably like stuff from before the city, but not like history documentaries.
Okay.
Just like.
All right. So that being said, when you do history checks of ancient history, when it comes to things like adventure or battles or heroes, you can add a +5 to your knowledge history. If it has to do with dragons, you can add 10 extra points. Because you most likely would have heard all the stories of dragons, right? And I would say that would also lay true to Dragonborn.
Okay.
Because I feel like that would also be a huge interest area for you.
Yeah, so +5 to ancient history.
Involving adventure and heroes.
Adventure and heroes.
So like all those men that were carved into the pillars around the Capitol Council building, you would have probably known their names if you had ventured to see them.
Percent knowledge checks about dragons. You said +10?
Yes.
Alright. Got that down.
Okay, so roll an ancient history check for me, and then he's going to ask you a question.
What's it? Is it about heroes or adventure?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I think I get a +5 to that.
Yeah.
That was stupid. That's such a stupid thing to say.
No, it's fine. You could have easily have went with architecture.
So I'm going to say 19.
19? Okay.
No, when I said like that was such a stupid thing to say, I mean, I was talking about like I think I get a +5 to that.
Oh, no, I know. What I'm saying is you could have easily have went with architecture or
science.
Anything, yeah. Alchemical.
So, well, I was thinking about it, like, as a kid, I probably wasn't like, what's the chemical formula for gunpowder?
I mean, you were.
Right. but you get what I'm saying. It's
I know
just
what
like,
you mean, yeah.
You know,
no, it makes way more sense to be adventure and heroes and dragons.
Yeah, which dragons are cool as hell. If dragons were real at any point, which they probably were.
They had to have been.
Yeah, I agree. But, like, if there was ever a way that I could, like, see a real dragon, I would know everything.
Oh, yeah.
I know too much about dragons now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, anyway, so 10 and 4 is 14, plus 5 is 19, so...
So 19 for your ancient history?
Yeah.
Okay. He looks at you and he says, how much do you know about the Knights of Twilight?
I know roughly 19 of them.
So you know what that is.
Okay.
Like, you specifically know what that is.
No, I don't. Maybe he does. But
No, I mean you.
Me?
Jacob knows. The Midgard campaign, the Knights of Twilight, Daltheria.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's like Lowen's thing?
Loki. The Loki people.
Okay. It's been a hot minute
Yeah,
since we went over
fair enough,
that.
fair enough.
Maybe give the camera some
So what I'm saying is that he's going to explain a few things, but it's a 19, so you know a reasonable amount. He's going to explain some more, but you at least recognize the name.
Okay.
The Knights of Twilight.
Yeah.
Okay. I see that you may need some more information. The Knights of Twilight were an order that hunted dark things. They went around the world. They used trickery and subterfuge and information to try to keep the world safe from behind closed doors rather than out in the open.
They work in the dark to serve the light.
Yes. That being said, now you might know them as the army that keeps this city safe in the open. And you would know that the main force, the main army, is the Knights of Twilight. There is a military academy that exists, the Twilight Academy, and that, you know, that's where everybody goes who wants to be a soldier. You know,
Right.
The Capital Guard are the top ranks of that
Order?
Of that academy. They come out, yes. Now, those people are called knights, but they are not what I would call the echelon in knights, right?
Right.
Everyone in the military is called a knight. If you graduate the academy, you're a knight of Twilight. That being said, you may not would recognize the Order of Twilight. And that's something different entirely. We're the people who run the city. We run it from behind closed doors, the way the knights used to operate. There came a need for the knights to come out into the public, into the light. But the job they did still need to be done. How do you feel about that?
I am a member of District 13 City Watch. I'm a sergeant, actually. I'm also the vigilante they've been looking for like 3 years.
Well, it at least tells me that you are capable of the job. But this is bigger than District 13. This is the existence of our entire society at stake here. I don't know if in your lifetime you've seen the world fall apart. But overcrowding, overpopulation, the need to build higher rather than out. People weren't meant to live like this. How long did it take you to get here from District 13? A week? 2?
Roughly.
To travel what one man could travel in the open field in 3 days.
I'm motivated, 1 and 2.
Yes. The congestion in this city has put everyone on edge. And with the King's new orders, it's going to get a lot worse. Because the lords are about to crack down fiercely. At least most of them. I am looking for someone who can help me with this task. The Order of Twilight exists in every district. It has existed under your nose and under your father's nose for as long as they've been alive.
And I feel like you are probably very good at your job, or your name would not have come to me. And I mean the job you do at night. These people need to be free. I want you to help me do that.
Answer a question for me.
Yes.
You are the Ard, household name across this entire city.
Yes.
Managed to breach the walls. And no one or no thing has been able to do. Why don't you seize the throne? Why don't you make the lords do what they should?
I could, but I am not a king. As time has gone on, as my life has continued and never ended, I have grown tired and weary, but I have never stopped wanting to do the right thing. But after 2,000 years, I just don't have it in me to run it all. My body may not wither, but my mind is tired. That is why I look to people like you. Young, able, ready. Your mind is acclimated to the current time. You grew up in it. And there may have been a time when you were a child that you could leave your doors unlocked. I doubt that is the case now.
I actually have a shotgun tied to the door handle.
I believe that.
My maids really do not like me.
In either case, the future of this city doesn't exist in the old. But the old need a future too.
I've grown weary of watching this corruption and watching everyone pretend that they're doing it because someone else is going to. And in reality, they see something they want and they can take it.
It's gotten much worse, yes.
I will help in any way that I can. But I admit I have some questions.
I have some answers. Maybe not the ones you want to hear, or maybe not the whole answer.
I understand that it's more than just about District 13.
Yes.
But that is where my experience lays. So most of my questions lean pretty much. I just have like one, and then whatever follow up comes up from that.
Very well.
I've watched weapon trafficking and human trafficking go on in my city, and I've been bearing down on them, and I've been getting closer, and it makes me wonder if there's an entire order there. What are they doing while I'm doing that?
You're making sure your people eat. You are trying to keep your people free from the traffickers. But a lot of those people can't eat. When you meet the person who is in charge of 13, you'll hopefully understand a little better where their work lies. But I would ask you this. When traveling amongst your district, have you noticed sometimes the plants seem to shimmer from time to time? There is a magic in the air that seems to keep the district alive That is not a magic you see in the air here. Everything outside of your district on your way here just seemed a little dark, didn't it?
Oh, I just figured there was no place like home.
There is no place like home, and especially no place like your home. When you meet the person in charge, you might understand a little bit more about that.
Alright. Well, you've told me your goals. They align with mine. I'm willing to join. What's next?
Very good. He reaches into his cloak and he pulls out 2 items. One seems to be like a little pouch of tools.
There's a blue potion and a red
Right,
potion.
yeah. Right.
I swear to God, that's what I thought you were about to do. I was like, homie, I just said.
One seems to be like a little pack of tools in a roll, and the other one is an orb. And he holds them out.
I will suppress my urge to roll a sense motive check. I will just take them.
Okay. As you grab the orb,
You're poison.
as you grab the orb, you feel a button hit your palm, and it begins to tick. He is very, very calm, and he says, "Disarm it."
Okay. So I guess step 1 would be like is there a timer on it? Like,
I mean it's clicking.
Like, is there? I mean, like, can I see how much time I have?
No,
Okay.
no, you can just hear it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take like a second just to like suppress this motherfucker just handed me a bomb.
Yeah.
So like I'll suppress that and then focus in, and I guess I'll do like an investigation,
Okay.
or I guess investigate just to see where to start. You know.
Yeah. All right.
Or would it be?
So you wanted to try to figure out what it may be.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
Okay. So
Would it be engineering?
engineering, yeah. It's a metal sphere.
That's a 4. I thought it was a 7, but like glare. With my engineering, that comes out to 28.
Okay. Now, as you're looking at this, you do notice that there are, within the sphere itself, that there are seams in the middle. They're very subtle, but they're there. This appears to just be an orb with a button, and that's it. Until you
have to push the button again.
until you look very closely and you see these seams, and there are seams that actually put it together, and aside from that, there are round seams all around it.
Okay, so then I want to see the tools that he gave me. Are they job specific, or are they just like thieves' tools?
So you're gonna open the pouch?
Yeah.
Okay. So you take the time to open the pouch, take a look at it. It is thieves' tools, and there are some, more specific tools, less specific tools, but it is a bundle of thieves' tools
Okay.
that you would, like a rogue or something would use.
Like similar to the ones I already have, I guess.
Yeah, they're just very high quality.
Gotcha. So.
And there may be a few picks in there that you didn't have in your set,
Right. So
it's a complete kit.
So there's those 3 seams that go in a circle.
Mm-hmm. So you took the time to look at the ball, and then you took the time to look at the tools.
Mm-hmm.
Those little circle seams slide open.
Okay.
Because that was a full 6 seconds.
So then I'm going to, I guess, make a disable device check.
Have you figured out how or where?
Well, I rolled a 28 on my engineering.
You found seams. You might need to crack this thing open.
So I guess I figured that'd be part of it. So yeah, I'll crack this thing open. Whatever.
Okay.
We'll see what it does.
All right. So you're gonna try to open the housing so you can get to the mechanism.
Yeah.
Okay. So roll your
Disable
disable device for it.
Do I get a bonus for taking the time to like investigate it?
Oh no, you wouldn't have been able to even try without finding the seams.
Fair enough. It's gonna be a lot. I don't want to get my math wrong. 38.
Okay. You take 6 seconds to look at this and the tools, You look back at the device, you grab a tool, you run it around, and pop the top of the housing off. Behind the holes that opened up, there are tubes that lead down to a center piece. And you can actually see inside the tubes a little easier now that the housing's off. They are small vials with what looks to be a powder charge in the bottom of them and a spike. The mechanism down below has gears and a few other pieces to it. You'd have to look at it closely to try to figure out exactly what it is. But there you go.
So looking at this, that tells me that, like, if I remove either the spike or the powder charge.
There are spikes. There are 6 spikes. There are some actually facing Ard as well.
Yeah.
They're not all facing you.
Oh, so like the powder, like it's like a frag thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like the powder charge could be removed, and that would basically make this thing inert, right?
Possibly, if you can get it out without setting it off.
And then there's the vials.
Mm-hmm. The vials are very tiny. They're behind the spikes. The powder charge just looks like an ignition source.
Okay.
You could roll knowledge alchemy if you have it to try to figure out what's in the vials. If you're going to roll knowledge checks here, I'll let you roll as many as you want to, and it will still count for the same time frame as this round. You know what I mean?
Alchemy isn't on my list, like at all, like as a skill. So I guess I don't have it.
Okay.
So,
would you have taken points in it if you knew it was there?
I mean, yeah, like as a gunsmith, it makes sense to do it, and then there's
I
alchemical
believe it
charges.
runs off of intellect, and you still had like 7 points, didn't you? That you never spent? 7 or 8, something like that?
3 currently.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I went through and spent them,
Oh, okay.
I guess.
I'll give you an extra 5 points to spend. We'll put you back up to your 7 or 8.
Okay. So...
Because I figured some stuff like this might come up.
Yeah.
And I knew you had points left behind, so...
So we'll just say I put them in alchemy.
Okay.
We'll call it a +7.
Alright.
And then my intelligence is +4. So it'd be 11.
Okay.
And it's handy because I rolled a 15.
15 total?
Yeah.
Okay. This is an alchemical compound called witchfire. You know it to be quite devastating if ignited. It has a force blast behind it, and it will ignite whatever it lands on, and it can't be put out with water.
So in that case, I want
very nasty.
Yeah. So I'm gonna make a engineering knowledge check to figure out, like, because I know if the spikes are gone, it doesn't have the fragments anymore. If the powder's gone, then it might be harder for the liquid itself. But like, it seems like I just want to do an engineering check to see what the best way to go about it is, and that's a nat 20.
All right. You feel like if you could stay the hammer, that you could remove the powder charge, and it might actually disarm the entire device, because the powder charge is working like a primer. Once it explodes, it is going to break the vials. The vials are going to have their force blast that they have while spraying the witchfire out, and the spikes.
Okay. So
engineering. So you would also say that. I would just say with that, because you're looking so closely, it's not a perception check, but you're looking so closely at the device. The spikes appear to have some sort of like viscous liquid on the tips of them.
Perfect. So then this is dumb, but I feel like it'd be part of the same engineering check. Could I just push the button again? Would that work? Because that'd be funny.
You can try. Yeah.
No, I'm saying, like, when I have it apart and looking at it, can I see what would happen if I just push the button again?
No, but what I would say is that you saw what happened when the button was pushed. So the button leads up to a little rod. It's actually a quite simple device. It has a clockwork gear device that pulls a hammer back and drops it. Bam, right?
Yeah.
You've got about 30 seconds total before this thing explodes.
So
okay? So when you pushed that, it just released a lever that started the whole thing.
Gotcha.
It's like a wind-up device.
So then, if I stay the hammer, so like if I could like pop a gear out and basically take the hammer out of the equation, it'd be good. Mm-hmm. So instead of the thieves' tools that he gave me that I used to open it, could I pull out my tinkerer's tools and basically just try and disengage the hammer?
Yes.
Cool.
Because you get a bigger bonus with those, don't you?
It's like a plus something that doesn't matter because my disabled device is 19.
Right, but yeah.
Yeah, but really it just makes more sense to use tinkerer's tools to pull gears than it does thieves' tool. I don't know if I get a bonus for that or not. I think it just makes me able to try on other stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because, like, I can't use thieves' tools to take a clock apart.
Right, yeah.
So, like, it makes sense to use my tinkerers and stuff.
Yeah, because you're proficient with tinker's tools, but not thieves' tools.
I'm proficient in both.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah. Right. Like I said, it's basically the same thing. It just makes more sense to use tinkerers tools if I'm trying to take
thieves'
gears
tools can
apart.
only do so much as well. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, like, the way I'm looking at it is I'm sure there is a way to do it with the thieves' tools because he gave me thieves' tools with it. Like, that makes sense. But with my knowledge in engineering and all that, it makes more sense to just disengage the hammer and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So I'll just do that.
You hear a click because you're at the end of another 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And the hammer pops back a little bit.
Yeah. So I'll pull out my tinker's tools and...
Okay.
It's going to be a lot. 36.
Okay. You manage to pin the main spring, which stops the hammer rising, and the clicking stops, making the device inert. Very good. 12 seconds. Well, 14 seconds.
Would have been faster, but I was kind of fascinated. The poison was a nice touch.
Yes, it's quite nasty. I had no doubt that you would be able to disable it. But I do need you to prove yourself. I need to know that you can do the job. That being said, there's one more test, and then I will let you into the sanctum.
So while he's talking, I want to do something. I want to reset it.
Okay. Roll your check.
Engineering or disable device or...
Engineering.
Nat 20.
Yeah.
I fucking love this die today.
You reset it. You screw the top back on.
Yeah, and then I pocket that and the new tools.
Okay. You'll figure out exactly what it does if you ever use it.
Right.
Alright.
It's kind of funny. I said when we started, I don't know if we were recording or not yet, but I made a joke when we were talking about it. I was like, I can hit him, and you're like, maybe not. And I was like, I built a grenade last session. And I really didn't. I mean, I had the beads of fireball or whatever, which is basically a grenade.
It's basically a grenade, yeah.
But now I have literally a grenade.
Yeah, it has a 30-second timer, so that's something to know. With some engineering and whatnot, you could shorten the timer. Maybe not lengthen it, because right now it's the length of the spring. So, you'd have to put a much larger spring in there, and the housing's quite small. So, you know the charge that that is in that sci-fi film that everybody loves, that he sets off in front of the frozen guy and the big worm. Yeah, it's about that size. Yeah. Not to break any copyrights.
Go on.
A little bit smaller than a baseball.
Right.
There we go. There was a much easier way to say that.
Yeah, but you wanted to make a not reference to something.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, so...
Give you an idea of how big it is.
Does he say anything when I reset it and pocket it?
He does not. So, if you exit this door, you will find a hallway. Follow the hallway down, you will find 2 doors. There's one to the left that is open, and one to the right that is not. I need you to take care of what's in the one to the left. If you do, and you live, come to the one on the right. If you do not, you will join what's in the room for the next person.
Fair enough. Quick question.
Yes.
How many apprentices have you looked at that were good at defusing bombs, I guess?
A few.
Super. Do I need to make an insight check to, like, feel zombies are in the next room, or some form of undead stuff.
Yeah. Bull stuff.
Bull stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely undead bull stuff in there.
Cool.
Which I mean, you.
I open the door and I see horns, and I'm just like.
You have an idea that you know, like a lot of things. Most of this world is undead at the moment, so it would not be hard for them to get something like that.
Yeah.
But you do also know that from time to time the undead breach gaps in the defenses or whatever, right? Like,
yeah,
they find ways in. So once again, also not that unbelievable. But you could. You can roll an insight if you think it might be something else.
Nah.
Okay.
What I do want to do, though, is he's like, this is a fight to the death, basically. So I'm going to pull my pepper box and I'm going to take the entangling shot cartridge out. So now I have 4 regular ones and 2 devil's breath.
Okay.
And I'm ready to go.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I have one request from you, Master Ard.
Yes.
Can you wash my dog?
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. I give him some head scritches. His name is Shunka, in my native tongue.
Very good.
It means dog.
All right.
But don't tell people that, because Shunka sounds dope. So
Very good. And you see him, he snaps the ends of his feathers and the dog just comes. And he leaves. With the dog. And shuts the door behind you.